his eyes here. Yes, I will. Come on. Right.
Remove the accident, please.
Got a serious burn on the hand there.
Like this. All right, if you can kind of roll the body over like this, I'll slide this underneath here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Watch that roll right
Anything I can do?
I only wish you could.
What happened?
The boy apparently climbed that tower, touched one of those wires, and fell to the ground. He's hurt pretty bad.
Oh, no.
Why did he have to go up there in the first place? Hey, do me a favor.
Sure.
Chase those kids out of there.
Sure, glad to. Come on, you guys. You better clear out of here now, huh?
That was Tommy Larson.
You know?
Not really. He was in a different grade, but I used to see him around school. How did it happen?
Well, the officer said he climbed that tower and touched one of those cables. You know, that line up there carries thousands of volts of electricity. I sure wish he'd believe that sign over there. But all the signs in the world are no substitute for good sense.
Is he dead?
Well, Tommy's not dead. He's lucky. He's probably got some pretty bad burns, and I don't know how badly he's hurt from the fall.
And I hope he breaks it.
Fellas, right now is a good time to level with me. Do you play on these towers?
Not us, but a couple of guys we know do it all the time, and they never get hurt. I guess they're smarter than Tommy Larson.
Luckier, maybe, but definitely not smarter. Until today, Tommy probably thought he was smart enough to fool with electricity.
If those wires are so dangerous, how come birds can sit on them without even getting hurt?
Well, that's a good question, but not too tough if you understand a little bit about electricity. Now, electricity is safe as long as it stays in the wires. The strange thing about it is that electricity will always take the easiest path it can find to the ground, through something that's touching the ground and through which it can easily pass. We call such material conductors. Unfortunately, you are good conductors. You see those things up there that look like upside-down plates?
Yeah.
They're called insulators. And their job is to keep the electricity in those cables from taking the easier path down the tower to the ground, instead of staying in the wire where it belongs. They're made of a material that doesn't conduct electricity. So the electricity stays in the cable because the insulators block the path to the ground. Now think about what happens when somebody climbs up there and touches one of those wires. Maybe he doesn't do it on purpose. Maybe he loses his balance for a second and instinctively reaches for something to hold on to. As soon as he touches the wire, faster than you can blink, the electricity flows right through him to the tower and down to the ground. And if the shock doesn't kill him immediately, the fall to the ground might.
Yeah, but I still don't understand why birds can sit on there and not even get hurt.
Well, it's really quite simple. A bird on a wire doesn't give electricity a path to the ground. Electricity doesn't flow through it because it's easier for it to stay in the wire. Just remember that electricity will always take the easier path. And just make sure that you're never the path it takes. Come on up to my truck. I want to show you something. You know, it isn't only the big cables on the tower that are dangerous. Let me show you some different kind of wire that are used to conduct electricity. Here. You'll see one like this being held by wooden utility poles along the street. It might carry as much as 12,000 volts. These smaller ones, like these, are used to connect your home's electric system to our wire in the poles. We only need 110 or 220 volts to operate our lights and electric appliances in the home. A transformer on a pole, yeah, like that one up there, takes 110 or 220 volts from our main wires and sends it into your home. But no matter what size wire or the number of volts it carries, any one of them can kill you.
Isn't that rubber around the wire?
No, but it's a material very much like rubber.
Well, won't that keep you from getting a shock if you touch it?
That's what a lot of people think. But actually, this covering is more to protect the line than anyone near it. Some lines don't have any covering at all. And some are completely worn away after years of being exposed to the weather. You just can't take any chances. Treat them all with respect.
What's all that? Are they hockey players or something?
Oh, they're not hockey players. But this is how we protect ourselves when we're working on electricity. We know electricity, so we respect it. When we're working on the wire, we wear special insulated hats. Special and carefully tested rubber sleeves and gloves with leather gloves worn over the rubber ones to protect them. We just can't afford to take any chances. Furthermore, any other possible points of contact with electricity are covered with protective insulation so that any parts of the lineman not covered will be protected. You know, the long boom on the bucket truck you see us work on is insulated from the ground. And we use special insulated sticks, ropes, and tools so that the electricity can't find a path through us.
That's heavy.
Thanks, fellas. You know, you don't even have to touch an electric wire to get a shock.
What do you mean?
Even staying away from wires isn't enough. If those insulators got damaged or broken on that tower, you could get killed anyway.
Well, how did they get broken all the way up there?
There have been cases where hunters killed themselves or endangered others by using insulators as targets.
Oh, so that's why they have the danger signs all over the towers.
Right. We try to put the danger signs wherever we think people might be tempted to get too near electrical equipment or wires. There is one other danger spot I think you guys should know something about. You have a couple minutes?
Sure, I guess not.
Come on up the road with me a ways. I want to show you an electrical substation. Oh, by the way, don't fool with streetlights either. If the fixtures are damaged, they can give you a dangerous jolt.
Look out! Hands up!
Ah, nuts. Here, hold on a minute.
Hold on. You don't want to go in there.
Why not? I'm just going to get my ball. I won't hurt nothing.
No, it's you getting hurt that I'm worried about. If you touch one of those lines or some of that equipment in there, it might be the last thing you ever touched.
Oh, come on.
Look, that sign is there for your protection. That's powerful stuff in there. We realize someone might get in there even with the barbed wire. That's the reason we put a sign like that on the fence. We just hope everybody realizes that they could get hurt inside.
What's in there anyway?
That wire carries 34,000 volts of electricity into the substation. It then goes into the transformers where the high voltage is reduced to a lower level and distributed throughout the neighborhood. It's really like a bigger version of the transformers you see on many poles.
If it's so dangerous, how come I see guys like you in there all the time?
because it's my job to know what I can touch and what I can't. Sometimes we turn the power off altogether, and even then we're careful. The danger is when somebody gets in there who doesn't belong there. Just last year we had a young girl climb into a substation. She was so badly burned, she'll be scarred for life.
Ooh. What about my ball?
Today's your lucky day. I have a key. Wait here a minute. I'll get your ball for you. Here you go, buddy. But look, if you ever have to get another ball or anything else that lands in here, call the power company. We'll get it for you, safely.
What's the only ball we had?
Yeah, how we gonna play a game if we lose our ball?
How are you going to play a game if you lose your life?
Yeah, well, thanks for the ball, mister.
Thought you were gonna yell at him or tell his parents or something.
No, I just wanted to make sure he knows better next time.
So all you have to do is follow the signs. If it says danger or high voltage, keep out. That's easy enough.
Well, that's half right. Like I told you, we try to put signs wherever people might pass. But people do get into some pretty unexpected places. Remember that box-like thing up the street?
Yeah, I thought it was a big fuse box.
Not quite. Again, it's a transformer like the ones you see on utility poles. Normally, it's safe, but inside there are exposed wires and terminals. Now, the danger is if somebody sticks a wire up inside and hits one of the exposed terminals, or if somebody breaks a lock off.
The boy broke the lock off last night. Here, help me.
Some other kid just might be curious enough to touch something inside. And if that happened,
You told Dennis he was only half right about danger signs. What's the other half?
well, look, we can't put danger signs everywhere we run electric lines. Anywhere you find electricity, there is danger if someone is careless. Take kite flying. You guys probably know some general safety rules about it, don't you?
Sure. My folks make us review a safety checklist every year. Yeah, you're not supposed to fly a kite near electrical wires, because if it touches it, you can get electrocuted.
That's right. If the string is wet, you could be giving electricity that passed to the ground, right through you.
And you're not supposed to fly a kite on rainy days because of lightning, or use a line that has metal on it.
Right. And model airplanes can be even more dangerous because they're controlled by wires. Let me give you an idea of what can happen when somebody is careless. A couple of years ago, a young girl and her older brother were flying a kite. Now, it was early spring. Anyway, the kite got caught in a tree.
Be careful, William, don't fall. Don't worry, silly, I know what I'm doing.
The boy was climbing up to get it, and he didn't think about the electrical wires that were running through the branches.
You're almost there, William. Just go a little further. Ah! William. Did it kill him?
Fortunately not. But he was in the hospital for a month before he got home.
I thought wood wasn't a conductor of electricity.
Well, it isn't when it's dry. But in the early spring, the sap in the tree gives the electricity a path to the ground. Same thing would happen if the tree were wet from the rain. Anyway, the boy got a pretty bad shock and lost his balance. He was lucky he wasn't hurt more from the fall.
I'll say. Wow, I gotta get home.
Okay, I'll walk you as far as my truck.
Wow.
I hope you learned something about how we try to make electricity safe and how we try to warn people where it may not be safe.
I sure did. Those are some scary stories you were telling.
Well, I didn't mean to scare you, but just remember what I said. As long as you're careful, respect it, and use it right, electricity is completely safe.
Okay, so the only electrical wires I'll ever touch will be dead ones.
Hold on now. And how do you know they're dead?
What do you mean? They're not sparking or anything. It's okay to touch her, isn't it?
That's what you think. Just last week, a fellow on the other side of town was leaving his home on the morning after a big storm. I suppose he wasn't thinking when he tried to kick a fallen wire up a sidewalk. I hope the same thing never happens to you guys. It's almost impossible to tell the difference between a live wire and a dead one. So if you ever see a fallen wire, treat it as if it could kill you, because it very easily could. The right thing to do is to keep everyone away and call the power company. We'll send a crew out right away to take care of it. Well, you guys, it's time for me to get going. Will you do me a favor?
Yeah, sure.
Tell your friends to stay away from our electric line.
Don't worry, we sure will.
Okay, take it easy now.
Okay, see you. Bye. Thanks a lot. So what time are you coming over? I don't know, probably after I finish my math. Around 8. Okay, see ya. See ya. Dad, don't!
Hey, Dennis, what's the matter?
Do you know what you're doing?
Not always. But right now I'm going to put up our new TV antenna.
I mean, didn't you see those wires?
Yeah? What about them?
Do you know what would have happened if your antenna had touched those wires?
Oh. Well, now that you mention it.
Dad, I think it's about time you and I had a talk about electrical safety.